welcome back to my Transformers Prime episode reviews. Today, we're taking a look at the episode One Shall Fall, a reference to the classic line from the '86 movie.
One shall stand, one shall fall. Why throw away your life so recklessly? That's a question you should ask yourself, Megatron.
This episode basically acts as a prelude to the Season 1 finale three-parter, One Shall Rise. Weird that they didn't go with One Shall Stand. Maybe that comes after, or maybe that just didn't make sense. This episode begins with Optimus Prime reciting a passage from the Covenant of Primus, basically the Transformers version of the Bible.
And it was written in the Covenant of Primus that when the 47 spheres align, a perpetual conflict will culminate upon a world forged from chaos.
Which first appeared way back in Beast Wars.
And a mighty warrior came down from the sky, and a rainbow was upon his head, and his feet as pillars of fire. And the great dragon was cast out onto the earth, and his followers were cast out with him.
Which I'm now reviewing on the channel. So make sure you go and check out those reviews too. And of course, we would also get our real Covenant of Primus book that you can actually buy and read yourself, which came in this kind of cool transforming Autobot logo case that you can mount on your wall. Although the real-world printed Covenant of Primus is a little different from the actual one depicted in either Beast Wars or Transformers Prime. Something to do with it only being a portion of the Covenant of Primus translated into human language by Alpha Trion for human consumption. Weird, there's an unusual amount of religious references between this video and my Beast Wars one from yesterday.
No sky is raining fire?
Goes without saying. It is a doom prophecy, after all.
Actually, by the end of this episode, we will have some fire raining from the sky. Meanwhile, on board the Decepticon ship, Megatron desires more Dark Energon in order to fulfill the prophecy.
I can see the future vividly, but I must ensure its outcome. For I am the rising darkness of which the prophecy speaks.
For one thing, Rising Darkness obviously seems to be a callback to the series opener, Darkness Rising. Which makes me wonder, did they have this season finale planned out way back then? Also, apparently Megatron can see the future too? Just like Cheetor in the Beast Wars episode I reviewed yesterday. And he seems to have a vision of the future. Yet another thing these two random episodes seem to have in common. Back at the Autobot base, the kids are looking at alien conspiracy websites, looking for evidence of the Autobots, and expunging it from the internet in order to protect their anonymity. I wanted to make a comment about how UFOs aren't real, but apparently, at least according to the US government, they are. So, yeah.
Marscat says, take me to your feeder. Ratchet actually laughed?
Oh my Primus. Ratchet is so cute laughing at internet cat memes.
Optimus, you want to see something funny?
No.
Equally cute.
Don't take it personally. Primes are built that way.
Never seen Optimus laugh, cry, or lose his cool.
This seems like a perfect opportunity to bring up a little bit of trivia that I missed in the previous episode. Apparently, during Ratchet's tirade in the last episode, in the first draft of the script, Ratchet actually mentioned Elita 1, criticizing Optimus for not fighting Megatron harder and sooner, and blaming him for her death. At which point, Optimus would have lost his cool and clocked Ratchet right in the face. But this was cut, as the story editors basically didn't want Optimus to show emotion. Which I think is kind of a shame. I mean, the original G1 Optimus was capable of displaying a whole range of emotions, and he's still considered one of the greatest versions of Optimus ever. Same goes for Beast Wars Optimus and Animated. Just because you're a leader, it doesn't mean you can't feel happy, sad, or angry. In fact, I think it makes you a better leader if you do. It shows you have compassion, heart, feelings, sympathy, humor, and many other great qualities necessary for a leader, a human being, or a transformer. While we do occasionally get little moments where Optimus does seem to break out of his cold, emotionless shell a little bit, I do wish that we got more personality from him in this series. But back to this episode, Ratchet briefly recounts how Optimus wasn't always a Prime, obviously foreshadowing to the conclusion of this season and the beginning of the next one, where Optimus reverts back to his Orion Pax personality. He also mentions how when he was Orion Pax, he was more like Jack, which perhaps is why in the next few episodes, Optimus entrusts him with the key to Vector Sigma. I wonder what would happen if he gave him the Matrix of Leadership. Would he turn into Jackimus Prime? That just sounds wrong.
Here's a punch list of everything else we've confirmed stolen to date.
Plasma injector, neutron shield, Tesseract.
Tesseract? What? The Decepticons have stolen the Tesseract? What are they going to do with an Infinity Stone? So it seems the Decepticons are building a new space bridge. And as the Decepticons are stealing the final component, the Autobots arrive to stop them. Meanwhile, Bumblebee is out with Raph, when he too gets called to join them. But before B has a chance to drop him off safely, Megatron spots the scout and attacks, injuring poor Raph inside.
Raph! He's breathing. Barely.
Ratchet, bridge us back now!
We must have an Autobot down.
Well, you're kind of right, Ratchet. Ratchet is distraught at Raph's current condition, and frustrated by his limited knowledge of human medicine.
Curse my Cybertronian pride. We've accepted these humans into our lives, yet I've bothered to learn so little of their science or medicine.
As I mentioned in the previous episode, Raph and Ratchet seem to have a strong relationship, so he's obviously quite upset about the current situation. Back on board the Nemesis, Megatron once again has a vision, this time of Unicron and a volcano of dark energon.
Unicron, the Chaos Bringer?
They say Dark Energon is his blood. Whatever.
June finally arrives at the Autobot base to help stabilize Raph, and B is obviously very upset to see that his little buddy may die.
B, listen. You think I don't know how it feels to watch a partner harmed? Revenge won't help Raph right now. You need to keep your emotions in check.
I gotta say, they do a great job conveying B's emotions without him being able to speak. But this is the time that I really wish that he could talk. Just imagine the performance that we could have gotten had he been actually able to say what he's thinking here. Meanwhile, Optimus and Bulkhead have snuck aboard the Nemesis, where they steal back the power source that the Decepticons need to complete the space bridge. However, Optimus decides to remain on board alone.
I have been foolish not to see what history has proven, over and over again, that Autobots and Decepticons will never mend their ways.
Well, there is Knockout at the end of Predacons Rising, and if it is to believe that RescueBots Academy is in the same continuity as Transformers Prime, there is Wedge and Laserbeak too, who both used to be Decepticons before joining the Autobots and becoming RescueBots. And there's probably more that I'm missing, but I'm guessing Optimus here is talking more so about the Decepticons in general, not individuals.
Megatron must be destroyed.
Are you sure you don't want to say,
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost?
So Optimus and Megatron finally face off, at the foot of the volcano from Megatron's vision.
One shall stand,
and one shall fall.
Nice. Back at the Autobot base, we learn that apparently Raph has been infected by Dark Energon, and the only course of treatment is more Energon, the normal clean kind. Luckily, the treatment works, and Raph appears to be fine. Although, I'm kind of disappointed that this didn't give Raph some kind of Energon superpowers, like Kicker from Transformers Energon. Meanwhile, Optimus and Megatron have an awesome battle, with Megatron appearing to be on the losing side.
My destiny. This isn't how it's supposed to end.
I can't help but feel that this is a subtle nod to Unicron's final line in Transformers the movie. Or maybe it's a nod to Back to the Future?
I'm your density. I mean, your destiny.
But before Optimus can deliver the final blow, the volcano begins to flow with dark energon, powering up Megatron, and the prophecy is fulfilled.
Dark energon erupting from the Earth.
Well, that was an amazing episode of Transformers Prime. Easily one of the best in this season, if not the series as a whole. There were so many emotional moments, particularly revolving around Raph. And there were so many great callbacks to Transformers history. The Covenant of Primus from Beast Wars, hinting at Orion Pax from the G1 episode War Dawn, and of course, all the Transformers the movie references. This is truly a fantastic episode. What else is there to say that I haven't already? And of course, this episode ties directly into the Season 1 finale 3-parter, One Shall Rise. But you'll have to wait until next week for that. For now, let me know what you thought of this episode down in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and do all that other fun stuff. And I'll see you back here next week for the Season 1 finale of Transformers Prime, One Shall Rise. So, I'll see you back here next week for that.